Stage 1 and Stage 2 engine chill has started. Engine hydraulics at pressure. And Stage 1 fuel is closed out. Falcon 9 is in self-align. Falcon 9 heaters closing out.
Dragon has transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Vehicle tanks pressing for strong back retract.
Strong back retract has started.
Stage 2 RP1 bleed. Stage 1 RP1 bleed. AFTS final setup started. MBAG igniter purges. Pogo bleed.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power.
Stage 1 LOX load closed out. Vehicle is transitioning to internal power. Stage 2 LOX load is closed out. Propellant fills are complete.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Ground gas closeouts is starting.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed for launch.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for foot.
Put up 79 Yankee Bridge.
2025 79 days over ground tank 6 kilo.
2377 on half a kilo going somewhere around 597.
77 days over ground tank via Lima kilo 5 and hold short of kilo 7.
All right, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Opsmaker here. This is going to be your SITREP. It is December 19th, 2022. It's about 11 a.m. Central Time coming to you from the great state of Texas. And so, without further ado, here, let me hit my little live button up there. I forgot to do that. Let's jump on over here to our Sky Glass and take a gander at what's going on. It looks like we got all the bugs worked out technically. So far, so good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this will continue on. So, nonetheless, we are sitting at around 286 mil aircraft up. Last load was 455. Of course, that includes Europe. But looks like our heaviest is, as always, Tex 2. That's going to be trainers, 60 of those up. T-38s, which is also trainers. 21 of those up. So we're at 81 training aircraft up. NA's about 20, 13 H-60s, and C-130s, etc. Air refuelers looking kind of light, actually, for today. Kind of a late start, maybe. Let me just marinate this for a second. I'm going to do a quick update and see if we get anything new airborne here with our numbers. Looks like it's climbing on screen. So, well, let's wait and see. Now, thought we were going to hit a 400 number, 238. All right, so a lot of stuff landed, a lot of stuff took off. So, all right, we do have some interesting aircraft up and out right now. Let's get over here to our watch list. We'll take a look at what we've got up in terms of the ones that we really keep an eye on. So, it's some Homeland Security down there on the Southern California border. And then we've got this Intel bird right there over El Paso. Probably has to do with the current events going on down there right now. And then that energy, that's nuclear security up there in New Mexico, little 737-400. Then we get up here, that's a C-135, a little different than an R-135, depending on the configuration. I don't have eyes on that, but that could be either a nuke sniffer or it could be a electronics platform. So then we get up here to the over Kentucky. Now, this one's kind of interesting because right there on that border of Kentucky, we've got one of the LaSalle aircraft. That's going to be one of your civilian intelligence. And, of course, that's 540 PA. That's going to be Phoenix Air. We've watched that bird go in and out of Gitmo in the past. Looks like it's headed to D.C. But rolling out of Cartersville. And then that's a SAM flight 799. It's a blue and white. And then we've got this SAM flight coming inbound, which is interesting. It's a blue and white as well, but it's a call sign NA coming from over in Europe. So, yeah, don't know what that's all about. It's kind of an interesting deal, though. And then that's going to be Homeland Security right there as well. But, yeah, that LaSalle Aviation, that's they're watching somebody up there on that Kentucky border. And let's see here. Like I said, that's an NA flight. Let me get us over here to Europe. We can see where that little dude is coming from. So we're just going to kind of back up and just mouse it on over here if it'll cooperate. But yeah, notice that track coming inbound. So over the weekend, it looks like we had some folks, important folks, over into Poland and into Germany. And we had several. So we'll look at another G5 here in just a second, too. All right, so look, now we're over the area. You can see that very, very kind of hard to see there, but that blue line going down, that trace headed into Europe, into Poland. Now we got a P8 here over the North Sea. That's going to be one of your United Kingdom P8s. Looks like they are talking to one of their subs out there. We've got the little E3 there over France, AWACS. There's that SAM flight we were talking about. Again, also coming out of Poland. So we've got the blue and white 757 that came out of Poland. Then we've got this little G5 Gulfstream blue and white coming out of Poland as well. And so I don't know what they were doing over there, but we will continue to watch that as well. And let me see here. Let's get down to, we hit our watch list. Let's get into the heavies. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's very light. Even in Europe, it's kind of light. You can see kind of headed kind of northbound. Back over towards the UK. It doesn't look like it's in and out of the UK, but up into the Baltic states. And then we've got this one here that looked like it is bouncing north. Where is that? Oh, that's Finland, it looks like. So we've got some activity going on up there in Finland. And then we've got a couple A400s. Looks like mostly A400s rolling in and out of southern Poland, across into kind of Luxembourg and France and that general area. Then we've got this one leaving Portugal, and then this other one, it's a UK A400, looks to be headed out a little over Morocco kind of area. They got that one coming out of Crete, flying, looks like two of them, an A400 and a C-17, both headed into Kuwait, and then down here into UAE. So that's going to be your heavies over into Europe. Now, if we get over here in the United States and take a look at them, again, very light. It is Monday, but it is a light Monday. So you can see we got a little bit of a surge coming out of kind of North Texas area, headed down to the Texas border side of the house. And then we've got this going on there. That's going to be one of your Coast Guard birds launching out of Tampa. It looks like a Coast Guard C-130. And then we've got a little flurry of stuff going on out of the Carolinas. And then we've got German Air Force. That one is it's an A400 headed westbound. And then we've got this one coming in, UAE C-17 coming into our country. So, all right, now let's talk R-135s for a minute. This is where it starts to get a little interesting. This was over the weekend. Notice down on the border, that's the Arizona border, which is kind of interesting. And then notice they're running some routes here over North Texas too. So yeah, we know we've got a immigration issue going on. This one's interesting because that's kind of over Longview, Texas. We saw the FBI drop off a team in that general area, so they clearly have eyes on a situation, all right, going on there. Wouldn't be surprised there's not a big bust that happens there pretty soon. And then that one looks to be a calibration flight. Now, this is we're going to jump over here to Japan because we do have some R-135 activity going on over there as well, which is pretty unusual. Don't see that too often, but you can see up there into the Yellow Sea, just south of North Korea, and then running back and forth in and out of Japan, out off the coast of Japan, as you can see there as well. Now let's go over to Europe, last but not least. And that one is in southern France. which is, you don't see it too often. Again, R135 over Marseille, it looks like. And then let me see if we got anything else going on. Yeah, this right here. Now, this is interesting because notice it's running along the water there. It took off out of the Middle East there, but notice it's running just south of Iran. So what are they looking at on that southern border of Iran along the water into Iran? I do have an article we're going to look at that's some southeast stuff that was going on in Iran, but don't know if it's related or not, but definitely got eyes on there. Now we get over here to our sub hunters, and you'll notice a little bit of activity off of San Diego coast. Probably got one of our U.S. subs there. They do that from time to time. Got some stuff going on out over the Gulf. Again, probably U.S. sub. And then down, looks like positioning of an asset down into Puerto Rico. Again, sub hunter stuff, right? Then we got that going on in, looks like Portugal. Then again, it looks like we moved some assets either in or out of that Persian Gulf area. And that's coming out of just north of Malta. Again, sub hunters, right? All right. Now let's go look at the civilian intel stuff. You'll see, again, this is going to be like that Brio 68, right? Running just like along that Ukraine, Moldova border area over Constanta. That's the port that we control there, that we seem to be getting goods in and out of. And then we've got some stuff going on between, notice they're running right along the border of Ukraine up into Belarus and south of Kaliningrad. Again, we do this because we're looking at assets that are moving on the other side of that border, okay? Now, the interesting one here, pay attention, is this one. We're running in and out of Hungary, but notice right along that border of Croatia and Slovenia, and that is kind of interesting. Now, those two don't get along very well, my understanding, so I don't know. Now, this is the other piece. Remember, this is LaSalle Aviation. This is civilian contracted intel bird, and notice it's looking for somebody or at somebody off there in the Carolinas. Yeah, right there on the coast of the Carolinas. Don't know who's there, but they're being watched, it looks like. And then over DC, pretty hot and heavy. And then there's that Kentucky leg up there too, which I do find interesting. Again, they're looking at somebody there, northern Kentucky, southern Indiana. Just a heads up, got a little spy bird running some routes there in that general area. And then let's get, let me see if I can get in on this just a little bit. And like I said, over DC, that's man in the middle over Maryland, right on the southern side of Pennsylvania. So if you're in that general area, just know that you may have been collected upon. Yeah, let me thin that line out a little bit. You can see that circle. Perfect circle. Yeah, man in the middle. So that's going to be civilian intel. Like I said, right there on the border. All right, let's go over here to the Tacoma now. I changed the map color because the blue was very hard to see on the green, but it's not very easy to see on the dark gray either. But notice that's take charge and move out. They're talking to something, probably a sub off of San Francisco area, as well as off of kind of the Jersey coast, a little further north than Norfolk. But that is, again, and off of, it looks like off of the Gulf of Mexico. So, again, take charge and move out. That's going to be looking at your ICBMs and communicating with the subs. All right. Okay. Back over to this side of the house. Let's get into the mix of this now. As we've got Flashbang's schedule, you can see he's coming back from Newcastle, Delaware. I think he's probably doing a quick turn and headed back. And it looks like the president and the first lady host Hanukkah holiday reception at the Grand Foyer this evening at 7 p.m. And all right, and he's hosting the president from Ecuador. So probably greasing the skids for more people, right? Okay. All right, let's move on over. Well, actually, while we're talking about that, let's get into the weather map just for a brief second. Yeah, it looks like the TFR over his residence is gone. It's all back over the Senior Living Center area. But these blue and yellow, the yellow here, the blue here, that's all power outages, okay? And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But got a lot, some weather coming in, kind of getting sucked off the Gulf of Mexico, headed across Dallas and Louisiana. Looks like you guys are going to get a little more rain. We're even, I think, threatening to get some rain here in this area as we are waiting for this polar or Siberian front to come down. It's supposed to get really cold, really far south this week. So, again, I'm not the weather guy. That's Ryan Hall, y'all. But if you get a chance, go check him out. He's pretty solid. All right. Okay, so let's talk Zero Hedge real fast from the headlines as we kind of look at the Biden policy. How does it look? Americans face an elevated winter power outage risk from tight fuel supplies and a faltering grid. And remember, we're trying to power load this with a bunch of power vehicles. So this it doesn't make sense. It's stupidity. Again, its administration is doing what they call jellyfishing. They try to fix one problem and create multiple other problems. So anyway, that looks like that is what's coming. And buckle up. All right. On over here now, let's talk border crisis. El Paso mayor is finally declaring a state of emergency after mass invasions of migrants. It says he's run out of funding to accommodate the 2,400 plus people entering his city every single day. Yeah. So he's looking for somebody to help grease the skids. Well, I will tell you, probably not going to get much support from Beto O'Rourke, who is in El Paso, and he's for open borders. So good luck with that one. But yeah, we continue to watch this area. Remember, you do have a very large immigration camp right there at Biggs Army Airfield. Haven't seen much going in and out unless they're just driving them in at this point. But we're going to look at the flights. You will see there is a significant uptick in flights headed southbound this morning too. Okay, here's Abbott for you. Texas places military on standby in preparation for the surge of illegal immigrants. And they're saying that as Title 42 expires next week, if you're not familiar with that, that's the CDC basically doing a lockdown based on COVID and all the other stuff. And so that was the only way they were getting around keeping people from coming into because of the risk of the spread. And so that is expiring. And the military department said on the 16th, you're going to be mobilizing the Texas National Guard. We already know Abbott has done that as well. It looks like we're adding to it. We also know there are tanks down there now. So starting to look like the Gaza border. Pretty wild. Now, let's look at the flights. Swift Air, as you can see, a lot of stuff headed down south this morning. These are taking people out of the country. And I imagine we'll see an uptick in that as from border towns headed south into these areas where they're all coming from. Everywhere from Haiti to, I don't know where this one is. This is kind of an interesting deal. I'm just going to click on that for a second. St. Lucia. Interesting. All right, so we're taking some folks out this way too. So yeah, pretty wild. We do have this one headed over to Alexandria, Louisiana. That is going to be a 72-hour holding facility. Usually criminals that we capture coming across the border, and that's coming from Phoenix, and then they get deported from there. So, all right, like I said, pretty full little blast of aircraft for the morning. Normally we see, depending on the day, it could actually be more than that, but they have been going to the interior of our country, which is a little concerning. We're hoping that is supporting hockey teams and not immigrants, but I have a feeling it is the latter. All right, so let's get over here and take one more look at a headline. Remember, the DOJ has put that aircraft and a team, just the team, they flew down south of Trump and dropped off a team, and that has been about 3 weeks ago now. And they haven't picked them up, which is very unusual. Normally, they drop them on a Tuesday. They pick them up on a Friday. There's something big going on just south of Trump, and I think we all know what that probably is. But just notice here, this is on Reuters. Trump is a target as a U.S. Capitol riot probe votes on criminal referrals against him. So, yeah, I'm telling you, they're going to come at this guy 3 ways from Sunday. And the fact that they dropped off a plane load of folks just south of him is not a coincidence. Okay. All right. Now here's our Star Wars map. As you can see, this is, again, month after month after month, we're getting peppered here in the United States. This is hitting that fiber optic network, and that's what is the reason why your connectivity has been pretty much in the toilet over the past several months. So you can see a barrage coming into the central hub there. All right. On over to our NOTAMs. Remember, this is notice to, I don't even want to it's notice to airmen. It's not anymore. It's air mission. Like I said, it's an old habit, hard to break. But let's just continue with the old habit. So this is kind of where you'll find your TFRs, etc., but additional other content if you're not familiar with it. But this orange boxes are military exercises, and red boxes are mil ops or other. That could be a TFR. But this one, notice we got danger areas off the East Coast and off the southern side here, as well as here. The box off San Francisco has since disappeared, and this one has changed. It was running up towards Alaska off the coast of Canada, and it has since kind of skinnied down a little bit. One thing I will point out is notice we got some exercises here on the Canadian border, as well as up here on the Canadian border and on the other side of the border. So don't know what's going on there, but nonetheless, that's where it is. So we've got an exercise up here near Halifax and then off of the Keys here. Now, get over to Europe. As you can see, some of the boxes have shifted. They've changed size. We had a big one here that was wrapped around the United Kingdom. Now it looks to be just this one. Notice this morning we were looking at the Navy P-8, the sub-hunters. They were in this general area. It looks to be a danger area. All right, so, okay. Now, the other piece, too, is we've been seeing a lot of refueling going on off of Italy, and I don't know why, but they've been pretty busy. So, and, of course, Ukraine, as always. Now, notice this little box here is an adder, right? Before it didn't come down that far, they're slowly pinching off the size of the area where we're allowing folks to fly in and out of across the Black Sea. We had a Q4 drone, you remember, on Friday running right in this spot right here, back and forth for about 9 hours. And this looks to be Russian in terms of this RA that went into play here December 13th through the 19th. So that's through today. It looks like we got a little bit of a caution box right there. They may have seen that Q4 drone and they're just putting one out there, letting them know if we see it again, we're going to take it down. So, been a lot of drones getting shot down over Ukraine and Russia here in the last week. So, we're going to look closer at that here in a minute too. All right. Okay. On to the next piece. U.S. Sends an infantry unit to a base just miles away from the Russian border in Estonia. Now, we've been watching the flights. As you see, we talk Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. If you get back over here to this side of it, that's right in here, okay? And we did see a flight running in and out of Finland as well. But this is an area we've been watching a lot of the civilian intel birds go in and out of, as well as R-135s. And so remember, this right here on this side is Russia. And so it looks like we've put some troops right here, very close to Russia. So, all right. Anyway, let's go back over to this side. Ukraine attempted a decapitation strike of Russia's top general. So this was kind of buried in an article and not very well known. It looks like it took place several months ago, but it looks like the U.S. actually tried to shut it down, and we successfully shut it down. My guess is that they were worried about an escalation or a retaliation from Russia, and we didn't have the assets in play to stop it or to prevent an onslaught when it came to the attacks. So that's probably why they told them, yeah, hold tight. Don't do that. All right. So interesting how you hear about things months later, right? All right. Now, we were talking about drone attacks. Look at Kiev as Ukraine watches the Belarus border. This is a picture from March. It's not a current drone attack. I hate when they do that. But this is not a current, and that actually is destroyed from something else. Heavy shelling, had nothing to do with drones. At least take it a drone attack picture and put it on there, but not related whatsoever. but you can see during the air alert, 23 enemy UAVs were recorded in the sky above the capital of Kiev, which is interesting. And the air defense destroyed 18. That's a pretty good average. So, yeah, it looks like they're popping them off. We're going to look at the map here a little closer, and you'll see on our map all the blue shields. You'll notice behind some of the shields, you can see that that missile launcher icon that's on there as well. And then notice just right here, that is actually going to be that was an article that was a write-up about Russian drones on this side. Now, Kiev is up here, and that's where they were taking them out. But this is an article about some Russian drones that were flying, that we had another, again, probably 80-90% success rate in taking out the Russian drones here coming across the border area for this kind of a strike. Okay. All right. Back over here. Again, heating up like a junkie spoon. All right. 4 Iran security force members killed in an attack. State media, they're saying this is a terrorist attack along the southeast border area. Now, you remember we had an R-135. Let's get over to the Middle East. That was flying right here. And they basically, I guess, I'm thinking, they're saying that was on the Iran-Pakistan border right in here. That's where that happened. But we did that. R-135 was running routes all along the entire border, southern border of Iran. So related, don't know. Probably not a coincidence that we had one in the area watching it. So let's see what we got here in this box, just out of curiosity. And danger area activated. That's going to be probably U.S. related. Yeah, Operation Area Hotel Act. So that's actually a big November 30th through December 30th. So that's been there for a little while. All right. Okay. Back it up here, Miss Daisy. Let's get over here to this side of the house. Let's look at Biggs. I see some flights coming in. These are SPA. They are based out of Tucson. This one came down from Fargo, North Dakota, and then it went to Tucson. Maybe bringing some troops in. We'll watch to see if we get a rotation and some folks getting shipped out. And then this one here, you've got one coming in from Eastern Airlines out of Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's a wide body en route. So maybe onesie twosies we're going to see get pushed across the drink. Which direction they go, don't know. We'll watch and see what happens. But we've had almost zero activity in the last week plus. All right. Now we get over here to Topeka, Kansas. Again, this is a regional airport, so you're going to get a mix of commercial and military aircraft. If I look across the ones that I see here on the board, I don't see anything military-wise at all. And so executive jet, yeah. So looks like Topeka, Kansas has got a goose egg for today. And then we get over to Ramstein. This has been a little busier. Jake 11, that's going to be one of your R-135s. And that SAM 860, that's an arrival. That's going to be one of your dignitaries coming inbound to Ramstein. And then German Air Force. We don't see the German Air Force actually coming into Ramstein very often, even though they're in Germany. They just don't go in and out of the U.S. base. So it looks like that one is taken off and headed. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And then let's see if we got anything down here. Now, we do have some coming inbound. Air Transport International coming from Portsmouth. That's a 757-200. This looks to be non-troop related. This looks to be cargo and assets related in terms of probably anything, HIMARS, tanks, whatever it may be that we're bringing into the area. All right, but that's 767-300. That's probably not tanks. Neither is that 57, but nonetheless, could be munitions, etc. All right. So normally it's 747-400, the big birds. That's what you're going to see. C-17s, that kind of thing, moving that kind of equipment. Okay. All right. Into Poland. It has quieted down into Poland other than our dignitaries going in and out of there. This is, again, civilian airport, but we land a lot of military stuff in and out of it. I'm not seeing anything on the board here or inbound or outbound. I'm not seeing any camber flights as I just kind of scroll through. So it looks like this place is a goose egg for today. And then let's get over here to Guam, which is the opposite side. We're headed out to the Pacific now. And we've got looks like we've got a Navy logistics bird coming inbound as an arrival. We've got a Reach that came in from near Saipan, another Reach. And then we've got, I don't know what that is right there. That's unknown owner. Yeah, don't recognize the call sign. And then, of course, we've got looks like the Reach and the Navy birds are exfilling. Don't show where they're going, but a little bit of an uptick. We get over here to Camp Justice, and let me click back on this as we look, see if we got anything on the board. Yeah, again, looking to be almost 5 days a week. We've got stuff coming and going from Camp Justice out there at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. So Air Transport International rolling in and out of Singapore. Now, if I go look at the news cycle in Singapore, we do have a lot of arrests going on. A lot of it's for drugs. A lot of it's for human trafficking. The big question is, are they sending people here? Or is this a supply run? I don't really have an answer to. So, but I will tell you this. It is normally zero. Anytime I've gone in here, very rarely do we see any flights coming in and out of this place. So this is definitely being utilized, no doubt about it. So, all right, looks like we got one camera flight rolling out of Kuwait, and don't know where it's headed. More than likely, it's gonna either bounce up here into Ramstein, or it's gonna head into maybe Shannon and then across the drink. So, but that the camber designation typically, not always, but typically is troop movement. Okay, so it looks like it came out of here, and it's headed this way. So, right, not a lot of camber flights, actually pretty light. And then we've got this Omni flight here as well, going from Nashville International out to Hawaii, and more than likely that is troops. They'll bring them out to here, and then they'll push them on out westbound from there. So that's just a fuel stop, more than likely. All right, but that is Omni Air, only one. So pretty light. Now we get over here to the Brits. You can see they've got six flights on the board. They're all over the place from Bermuda, all the way to MacDill Air Force Base in the U.S. But notice you only see 3 of them in the air. The others just aren't showing up. So, all right, could be troops. Could be, more than likely it's troops, right? But could be other stuff. And let's see. This is going to be the Ruskies. Why it's showing over the United States, I have no idea. But if we slide over here to this side of the house, the blue is snow, green is rain. Looks like we got a lot of snow going on, but I'm not seeing any activity there. So, all right. So they get a goose egg as well. Again, this is the Jenna flight. Now, the only thing I want to point out is that they did fly over the weekend on Sunday. They were down here in Atlanta, Fulton County, back up there. So they probably dropped the team off here. Quite busy here going into the end of the year. But again, big takeaway is the fact that they do have teams, seem to be scattered everywhere as we've been watching them. Let me see if I've got the one in Texas. It's not showing here. I'm missing it. So, all right. Well, we do know they dropped the team off in Longview, Texas, as well as down south of Trump. And, of course, the Longview, Texas one is where we were looking at the R-135s running back and forth over just to the right side or the east side of Dallas. That would be that location where they dropped them off. So, okay. Well, listen, that is going to do it for SITREP today. I will be back on Wednesday with our next SITREP. There will not be a live show on Friday. For the members, we will have a Q&A on Wednesday before I head out of town. But that's going to do it. You guys be safe out there. Keep that powder dry and stay frosty. We'll talk soon. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeyworxus.com.